So I want to talk about the what and the so what. So what is Friday Cafe? So we talked about this being our place to get new ideas, innovation, and our values to welcome you and be relational. They're going to hear a lot about that today as we talk about the new digital welcoming walkthrough tool. We want to spark new ideas, and it's our safe lab. So actually the presentation we're doing today is a rollout, and we're going to be very interested in getting your feedback, so it's really a two-way conversation for sure, and then lead alongside families. This is jointly owned, and we really see you as ambassadors of Friday Cafes. We don't do a whole lot of marketing, but people keep finding out about it. We're in our 12th year, and we thought, after the first few sessions, well, let's see if they come back. And they came back, and they came out of COVID. Well, I think that's going to be it. And we're saying, let's do it virtually, come on. So we're so gratified and grateful that this is still, you're still finding value in this. So we always like to welcome our new friends. Who's here for your first time at Friday Cafe?
Okay. We should have a prize.
We should have a prize.
We should.
There should be
Put that on the evaluation.
There should be some swag or something.
They're welcome.
Who here, so people find out, they tell us they find out from word of mouth about Friday Cafe. Who here has ever told someone about Friday Cafe or brought someone with you, like they've actually come? Who's done that? Ah, hey, look at you, look at you. You're a word of mouth marketing says that's the best way to get your message out. Who among you, that just raise your hand, would be willing to tell us, how did you pitch it? What did you say to someone who didn't know what Friday Cafe is? How did you describe it? Is anybody willing to share?
I said it's our people. It's our people.
Write that down.
Another? Anybody else? How did you describe it?
It's all about building relationship with me, so it's like it's where you can find your people to support the work that you're doing. Building that network, continue, and there's a lot of there, and I talk about the topics. And I try to relate the topics to the conversation that we're having, so that way we can be connected to it.
Oh, I love that. I'm so happy to hear the topics are relevant to your actual work. Anyone else? How do you pitch it?
In my words,
Yeah.
it was just like, dreams to come.
I like that.
You're going to go.
It's not negotiable. You're coming. Is that all right?
She loves it. So she's going, now she comes all the time.
Oh my gosh.
So we all out of work to make sure she
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you.
So we won't put you in any pictures.
Well, there is definitely a ripple effect. Someone tells two friends, tell them.
I told them that this is where you're going to connect to experts in the field. You learn a lot about what's going on outside of Connecticut.
Yes, thank you. And we really try to, this is designed to be a peer-to-peer network because the expertise is in the room. And I said this at the time, I really believe any growth in our field comes from the ground up. You all teach us. But the virtual sessions we have in January and February, that does give us a chance to bring people who are on a national scale to bring new ideas to Connecticut. And we have a couple of, we're lining up a couple of really great stations. So I wanted to talk about the what, that's the part, and then the so what. So what do people do with this information after they leave? So thank you to our friends, Dave Vettel and colleagues for collecting data. If is it time to read? Probably. So this is what people told us they do with the information. Number one is share with colleagues. Yay. People want to go back and implement something they heard. They want to use this to advocate because we know you can't do this alone. And so we hope this is empowering you against that leadership role. Inform how I think about family engagement, yay, where this is, we want to plant seeds and sparks. And then do more research, find out more. And we always say, like, this isn't a training, we're not done, this is an idea. And you get to roll up your sleeves and talk with other people. Go find more. Does anybody have a story about what they did with something they learned at Friday Cafe? Oh, yes, thank you.
Actually, it was last year, it was a choose your own session, and I learned about CPAC. So I've been taking the course that they offer, actually a parent course, but they said they have professionals in it too, to learn more about special education. And through this course, I shared information, and there's a safe phone number that parents can call if they have questions. And I recently had a parent who was able to get information on the law and advocate for her child to have the IEP and the special transportation change because of that resource.
Oh my gosh, yay. Yay for you, yay for CPAC. CPAC is pretty amazing. And if you don't know, that's Connecticut's Parent Advocacy Center. They are federally funded through special ed grants to help parents with the special education system. And every person who works at CPAC is a parent whose child has been in the special education system, and they are an incredible wealth of knowledge and a resource. So CPAC, I guess .org, something like that. Connecticut Parent Advocacy Coalition.
Center.
Center. Does anybody else want to share a story of something you used in Friday Cafe? In the back.
As an administrator, we have formal evaluations every year, and 1 year my goal was to explain how Friday Cafe has impacted the district. So that was my formal evaluation, and I had, I had that as my goal, and I had to use each of your topics, every one, to explain how that was impacting the goal in the district. And apparently, were asked to attend at least 3 that year. We had a huge impact on their activities at the school as a result of that.
Good job. Let's bring it, Karen. I want you to write a chapter.
I was
or
just thinking,
article. We need to publish that. That's awesome, thank you. Well, with that, I want to turn it over to my esteemed colleagues, Dr. Veronica Marion and Master Melissa Redding, and she's going to have a by next Friday Cafe. That's right. We're going to have a new master. And we are previewing and unveiling the digital welcome walkthrough tool. And I want you to think about as we go through this, what are you going to do with the information we learned today? And number one, start making a list of everybody you're going to share this with. And then we do our evaluation form with this ahead. Thank you. Okay.
Blessings all around. Blessings. Okay, so I already said good morning. I think they want me at the podium. You all know I'm not a podium type girl, right? I'm like, how do I stand up there? But this feels a little different because today I'm your conversation catalyst, and usually I'm assisting with the facilitation. But today I'll tell you a little bit about what we're doing and what I hope you walk away with. So one, for those of you who do not know me, I want to let you know who we are and what we're doing around the state. We want you to know that we will share the digital tool with you today. However, it's not ready for prime time. It's ready for you all to still give us, so we're still doing a little tweaking. So I want you able to use it today, but then we still want your feedback on what's missing. And then the last thing, because I can't take all of you on a walkthrough with me, we're going to use some scenarios and you'll be able to participate in a walkthrough today. So we're going to have some fun, okay? Next slide. So the most important piece here in regards to the information that's on the slide is that Connecticut has a statewide family engagement center. There's a number of centers throughout the state. We have our center here. Our sole purpose is to support student achievement. So everything that we do, from the conferences to partnering with districts to our Friday Cafe, we do a lot of coaching. It's all to support student achievement, and the strategy that we use, that we have research about, is family engagement. And we have a number of REST leaders that we're working with. We had a huge goal of rolling out family engagement to the entire state. And because of our partnerships with the REST around the state, we are able to do that. So currently, we're partnering with all REST, so there should be no school in our state that's not aware that Connecticut has a definition on family engagement, and that we have resources, free resources, available to you. We have a professional and parent-led advisory council that we're constantly taking memberships. So 51% of our members are parents, and that's a federal requirement. But I think that's something that we would do anyway, because we want our parents at the table, and they have a lot to offer. And currently we have 22 districts that we are partnering with, and we're continuing to expand that number. So if we go to the next slide and you do not see your school or district logo up here, you have to take a picture, take it back to your district and say, I don't think we're up here, because it's an opportunity to ensure that you are supporting family engagement within your district. Thank you. Now, so you thought I wasn't going to come back to this, right? No, I'm coming back. So today we're talking about welcoming. But what does welcoming mean to you, and what does it feel like when you experience it? So I heard all the buzz at your table. I shared with you a few times that there's an activity on the screen. So I want to hear from you. So what was the experience that someone had, and what did you buzz at your table? Who would like to go first? Oh, I love when they just pop up and I don't have to pick on people. Share your name. Is the microphone still on? Is it on? Hello, hello? I don't hear it.
It's not working.
I don't know if it's working. Go ahead, try it. No?
My name's Stephanie Nicholas. I'm at Bridgeport Public Schools as the homeless liaison.
Can you get the support? The microphone's not working.
I think I left Waterbury in 24. But I left Waterbury and went to New Haven to teach. And the experience was that in New Haven, when I got to the school as a new teacher, the principal sent an email out to the whole building to say that I was a new teacher. And I was telling Shelby that one of the other things that I felt welcome, I think kind of vicariously, was that in New Haven, when new staff came to the district staff, they would send an email to the whole district to say, like, this new person is our director or whatever. And then if a family had suffered a loss, a teacher's family or staff's family, they would send a bereavement notice to the whole district to say, like, this paraprofessional at this school lost their husband. And I just thought it was like such a good environment to work in.
Thank you. Come on, we snap it up. Who else? And you have to use your teacher's voice. I think something's happening with our microphone. Oh, look at this. Apparently it's working out.
I want to share an experience of being welcome as a parent in my daughter's elementary school. I remember going into a parent-teacher conferences and coming into the main door, and they had a red carpet out, and all the entire staff, teachers, paras, and even, building like custodial were lined up, and they were just applauding every parent and the kids who were entering the school. So that, to me, even going to a parent-teacher conference, I felt super welcome. What my experience was going to be after that.
Wow, that's really good. And I've heard a lot of different examples. I've never heard of red carpet, not for the parent-teacher conference. Anyone else? Y'all either need to get out more. Thanks, Kyle.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mr. Kyle Corsetto, and Mr. Jersey and I, we actually came to the same conclusion. We both used the example that we felt most welcome here.
Aww.
And between the directors, the people that put these events together, between those that are at the table, every time I come, people want to know where you're from, what kind of work do you do. So I just wanted to give that as an example. And me, just as an individual, something that I pride myself in. Every morning at our school, I make it a point to be at the bus gate and welcoming every family. At our school, we have nearly 500 students, and I know probably 8 out of 10 students that come in, and I'm greeting them by name. And the reactions that I get are just lovely. And for the first half of the year, I'm holding my fist out for the kids to fist bump me, right? Well, you will see within a month or two, if my hand isn't out, their hand is up. Like, hey, Mr.
That's
C,
a good picture.
I'm here. Oh, you know, it's so good to see you. Welcome, Johnny. It's so good to see you. I'm so happy you're here. And just on a personal note, I brought that into my home life. That at home, when I come home with my partner, I said, I welcome 500 families a day. When I come home, I want to be welcome. I want to be welcome. And just saying, just saying, hey, how's your day? While you're at your laptop still working. No, I actually want to be welcome when I come home.
Right. Tell him Dr. V gives you a hug every time I see you.
Yes,
Right?
She said,
Every
welcome,
time.
Kyle. She said, welcome, Kyle, good to see you. And that's made my whole life better. So we can all take the things we learned here, not only in our professional lives, but we can also integrate them into our personal lives. So thank you.
I tease Kyle all the time. I say, Kyle, I know what you're doing. I know you're interviewing. Don't worry. Don't worry. When I got a spot, I'm calling you. But if you notice, everyone, the examples that you shared, right, it really wasn't about the content you received. It was about how the person or the people or the situation made you feel. And so that's some of the things I want you to remember as we're talking about the walkthroughs today. It's one of my favorite activities to do because of the transformation that I see from the folks when they first walk into the room and they're real quiet and nervous, no one knows each other, they don't even touch the food. But after the process, after they share stories or share each other's name and they go on the walkthrough, they come back as friends. They come back, now they eat the food. It's kind of hard to eat food with strangers, right? But once you get to know someone, they really do. So I want you to think about that as we go through the slides today. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit of the background, and I'm going to stand over here because I can't read with these slides behind my head. So just to give you a little history on the welcoming walkthrough, we've been doing welcoming walkthroughs in the state for several years, and it was a result of our former commissioner. You'll see George Coleman in our picture up there. He had an experience in one of the schools where he went to go visit a friend. He wasn't dressed professionally at the time. He had on, I think he said he had on sweats, or he was dressed very casually. And he went up to the front desk and he said, I'm here to see your principal. Gave his name, but not his title. And they said, okay, have a seat. And he sat, and he sat, and he sat. And he went back up and he said, do you realize I'm still here? And this time he shared his name and his title. And they said, oh, we thought you were just a parent. Exactly. So apparently, it was okay in some of our schools to have parents sitting and waiting, but not professionals. So he came back to the State Department. I was at CERC at the time. Judy was at the State Department. And he said, if it happened to me, it's happening to our families, and that's not good enough for our families. So that's the history. That's why we do what we do. But the other reason, the how, is directly linked to our definition. Because we know the value of partnering with families. We know the importance of sharing information with families. We know the importance of having families at the table. And when you do the walkthrough, families have the opportunity to do all of that. They have the opportunity to share their voice. One of the best parts about it, I keep saying the best part, it's a really great activity. But one of the best parts is that it's a constructive, collaborative process. It's not about teacher evaluation. We're not going into classrooms. It's about the culture and climate of your school. It's about, are you rolling out the red carpet for your families, right? We know you probably can't do that on a regular basis, but how long ago, Carla, did this happen? A while ago? See, and she told us, so she's still sharing that story. That experience is still something that's important to her. So it's 4 different components: physical environment, school-wide practices and policy, school culture and climate, and homeschool communication. So when you're on the walkthrough, there's 4 different teams. You're going to be looking at the physical appearance. You're looking at student work. Like I said, you're going to have a name tag on, right? So you're a visitor in the building, you're walking in, but anywhere that you can go with your name tag, so you're not going into classrooms and you're not going into the nurse's office per se, but you're going into open spaces. And you're able to observe a lot when you're on the walkthrough. So the physical environment is about looking at student work, it's about signage. Even when you drove up today, like, did you know where to park? Was there parking? Was there signage? Not picking on the museum, but I do it everywhere now. I can't not look for certain things. School-wide practices and policies, this is an opportunity to interview the principal. And when I provide the orientation with folks that are part of the walkthrough, the principal is answering the questions, right? But I ask them to dig a little bit deeper and ask for examples, because they can say yes all day, but do they have examples to share? So for example, one of the indicators is regarding orientation. So if you have families that move into your school district in the middle of the school year, do they still have access to the information that was shared at the beginning of the school year? Or do now they get a little separate little envelope or a little folder and say thank you and have a great day? Do they have that same opportunity to receive all of the information? So that's when you can ask for examples. It's about homeschool communication, the information that we're sharing with families. Is it meaningful? Can families access it? A lot of schools and districts want to tell me, Dr. V, we have this cool social media platform. I love social media, but we cannot force our families to get a social media account to find out what's happening in their school, right? It's a great tool to have. There's a lot of people that are still not on social media because of, their privacy. And then the last one, school culture and climate. It's about the feeling when I get into your building. It's about what I observe in the parking lot. So for me, the walkthrough doesn't start when I go through the door. It starts for me when I look at your website. It starts when I'm sitting in your parking lot and I'm observing. So if I'm at Kyle's school, will I see Kyle doing the high five outside, right? It's about that interaction between staff and students. It's about the phone calls, the phone etiquette. So a couple of years ago, we had the opportunity to partner with the Brookings Institute. And they worked with us on several occasions on our theory of change. And so for you all, this is something that you have to think about. If this is something that you want to bring back to your district, is your district ready for it? Are you all ready to partner with all of your families? It's a mindset, right? We can't say several years ago that everyone wanted families in their building. They would like drop the kid off and then close the door. This walkthrough is not about that. It's about including everyone. So if you have that mindset and your school teams has the knowledge, that's what you're receiving today, and we're gonna have a training in the spring, and you receive that training, and if school teams constructively assess and identify areas to make that environment friendly and accessible, then you will create welcoming schools. Places where students, families, and teachers want to be and feel that they belong. So what we're going to do now, I want you to pull out your phones. You're going to scan the QR code. Because what I want you to do, we're going to take a little quiz. I want you to think about your home school or a school that you're familiar with. Think about a school that you are familiar with. Does everyone have a school in mind? Yes? And then is it allowing you? Yes, so you can select a role. For today, I want you to be a school staff person or a community person. So it says community partner. Yeah. No, you pick school staff, that's fine. Okay.
So each host family or any other role, you can go back and navigate that. You first open it up, it will ask you to submit passcode. Your passcode is already there, you just press the passcode to submit. Select the role, confirm, and start.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you start in a few minutes, but I want to tell you about the scoring. So you'll see you'll have opportunities to score once you get to the indicators. You can click it to go to. Yeah, go ahead. Click it to go to the next screen where it says sample question. Click it again. Now, you should see the first indicators. Do you see the indicators? Okay, great. So as you read, are you raising your hand?
If anyone is having trouble, I also have the QR code on a piece of paper, so you can't.
Okay, I think, is everyone good? I think they're good. Okay. So as you're reading through the indicators, you can either score not true, somewhat true, mostly true, or very true. So very true is an example of something that's happening 95% of the time. So if you're reading one of the indicators and it's saying something about the orientation or about signage, and we have our signage there, then that means that yes, we have it, don't touch it, Dr. V, it's working. Not true is like, no, we need help, it's not happening. And then it's really subjective in the middle. All right, so I'm gonna give you like maybe 10 minutes. Might not even take you that long. But I want you to go through all of the indicators. What I gave you today is a sample. You don't have the entire tool, but you have a sample of the indicators. What's important about the indicators is all of these indicators came from our families in Connecticut. They either came from parents or community members as they experienced walking into schools or their experiences of being a parent in a district or a school. Okay. Do your quiz. So what we did for the quiz, I just wanted you to get a feel of the indicators and the actual tool. So we're still tweaking the tool. On your evaluation, I want you to say, Dr. V, this is missing from the tool, right? But what you have on the screen, what you should have been able to see as you finished, it'll tell you based on your responses this is the category that your school currently fits into. So any surprises, any ahas, anything to work on? Who's taking the microphone? You want to stand up?
Absolutely. So my back is turned. Good morning, everybody.
It's kind of
Hi,
loud.
one person that answered.
It's kind of loud.
It's loud.
Yeah, like that.
Is it better?
He is happy today's Friday. Right?
Better. Okay.
See, you wanted to stand up.
You invited me. I feel welcome. No surprises on my end. I got
What was your
the second
category?
tier warming up.
Warming up, that's
So I
not
had
bad.
43 points. But I think just looking through, I based my feedback over 2 schools that we have. So while one
He already didn't follow directions.
well,
I said one school,
okay.
as you were, go ahead.
But there were areas in one of the schools that were stronger and areas in one of the other schools that was not as strong. But I do believe we have some work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I'm coming to my front table because they're doing a lot of talking. See that? See how that worked? So I've done this quiz as a parent, and I was thinking about my son's school, and I'm like, of course they're welcoming, it's great, I can't even get in and get out in a reasonable amount of time. I know the principal, when he was in school, he was very active, we were very active, so I thought it was great. I got a low score when I actually had to read the indicators because I was thinking about myself and my relationship with the principal, and I wasn't thinking about the parents. So when you're doing this, you have to think about the parents, the community that you reside within. You're thinking about all of the students with special needs. You're thinking about all of that. Anyone else? Any other ahas or an experience from any indicators that got your attention and made you think differently? There are some new indicators. So Midda is from Stratford, and Stratford did their welcoming walkthroughs 2 years ago, last year? 2 years ago, before the digital manual. And so what we've done in between time, we've worked with or partnered with families to allow families to give us feedback on the indicators. So the majority of the indicators have been updated.
Yes, I love that. I love the preference.
Okay.
You know, because I think it's going to elevate us.
She doesn't love the microphone.
No, I don't. I don't like the microphone. I think, so we did it 2 years ago, and it was fantastic because that's where we started working. But what I like about the new educators is actually giving us a different perspective, to look more in depth, and also to look for the child there. There's a theme or things for students in there, more questions that I was like, wait a minute, I have not done that. This is something that I need to look into.
Right.
So I think hopefully you guys will love it as much as I'm loving it for my district. And my district is actually loving it.
So did you finish, and what was your score?
They really should be questions, they should be statements, right? That's what it is. Because the first few are fine, because they're
Well, no,
statements.
that's good,
and you
though.
can say, like, yes, this statement's true, sort of true, not true.
Our friend over
But when
here
it
was warming up.
switches to questions, that's where it's like, maybe.
So, I work in the Family Resource Center, and I did the,
Yeah, from there.
our office housing. Some of these questions were very interesting to me because I am a former preschool teacher. So if you're familiar with regulations and IT around what you expect to see in preschool classroom, a lot of the questions are very like that. There's family photos right away when you walk in, and things that reflect the actual children that are there. And so now I feel like
But I think the statement ones, you're kind of saying,
Right.
this is the standard.
Yeah.
How do you meet it, as opposed to a question? Like, it really should be statement-based.
It is very well planned. But when you reflect on some of the standards that Nathan pointed out, we are missing.
Exactly. But Head Start and preschool programs have always done family engagement well, and bulletin boards and resources and information, excellent. I talk about my granddaughter all the time. So Sky now is in first grade, and her mom is feeling the difference between Sky being in preschool and now in like big girl school. And she goes like, do they still talk to you? I'm like, yeah, they're supposed to be talking to you. Anyone else? One last one. No, you just took a bite? Okay. What was your score? 42.
So I'm warming up.
You're warming up. Okay. Did anything stand out? Any of the indicators? I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said, shut off the cameras.
Oh.
No, so. Yeah. I don't even know how to explain it. I think in my school, there's like so much potential and there's like so much.
So there's opportunity for growth.
Yes, it's the staff are not the ones that are agreeing to certain things and working together or making it more inviting. But we're still working on it. So we are still a new school, and over the past 3 years, there's just 3 leaders. We're just changing and working on things. And once that person leaves, the next person comes in. They have different ideas.
Right.
So we're back on reset.
Yeah, so you need some consistency.
So
yeah.
Warming up is not bad. We're still.
Warming up is not bad, especially data is information. You can't make changes until you understand where you are. So that's good. Okay, what we're going to do now, okay, you can turn that off. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the walkthrough itself and how do you prepare for it. And then we're going to actually have an opportunity to pretend like you're on a walkthrough. So one of the things, and I was thinking about this, one of the things you have to do is ensure that you get administration buy-in. Because as much as if you're sitting here thinking we want to bring this back to my district or bring it back to my school, you will need the school leaders' support. You will need the district support. We did all of the schools in Danbury one year because of the superintendent said, this is what we're going to do. So it makes a difference. So you get the administrative buy-in. Having a point person is fantastic. We provide the training, but the community buy-in as well. So reaching out to your community partners. You want your community partners to be a part of the process. I always go to my faith leaders first. I'm a preacher's kid. That's where I go first. There's faith leaders. They're trusted messengers in your community. They would love to be a part of your team. Make sure that your team is diverse. Send out personal invitations. If my name is at the top, I'll read it. If it says greetings all, I'm thinking it's not for me. It said everybody, right? Logistical stuff. You will need a space that day. In this particular slide, we're in Hampton at ACES. ACES did all of their schools as well. Light refreshments, like we have light refreshments for you all today, right? Light refreshments is nice. I went to an event, a community meeting, no lie, 7:30 in the morning. I didn't stop for coffee. I should have. You got me here at 7:30 and I was on time and there was no coffee. Guess what? I never went back. So light refreshments is great. And then there's an opportunity to gather digital or written materials because there will, like I said, there's 4 component teams and one of the teams is going to look at the materials that you're sending home to your family. So whether it's digital or whether it's, or if you're still printing copies, we want to ensure that the information that you're sharing is meaningful and useful and that families, will have access to the information that they need. Next slide. The walkthrough itself, the day of, we provide a brief orientation. We allow, some folks want to assign their guests to a component team just to save time. I don't recommend that. I recommend allowing adults to be on the component team they want to be on. Like, everyone may not want to go outside. So I recommend having the participants decide what team that they're on. Each member will have an opportunity to score. It's individually scoring. It's not a group score, it's an individual score. And this is the most important piece. It's based on your experience that day. So even if you were in the building yesterday or last week, or you were a student there, it has nothing to do with your experiences then. It's based on the day. And then the entire team has the opportunity to prioritize things that are most important to them and what they want the school to work on. Building the team is crucial because you want to ensure that the team reflects the school population, right? So we threw a couple of pictures up here. We have schools in Bristol, and I think it's Stratford, and Farmington, which you'll hear from Farmington in a minute. So this is not the opportunity to go to your go-to parents. We all had a short list of parents that we called them, they'd show up. We don't want them. You already know what they think and how they feel. They already like you. This is an opportunity to build relationships with other families. Call those families that would be surprised that you call them. That's who I want you to start with. You can have staff members, depending on the capacity of your building. We recommend students. Students share a lot of information when they're, and sometimes a little bit too much, but they do, and it's their experience. You all remember Betsy. Betsy said she was on a walkthrough one time, and the little boy said, "Do you want me to show you where they keep the spoiled milk?" I was like, why are we holding on to spoiled milk? But okay, let's go. Another student, I think he was in middle school, because his school's name is an acronym, he found out the name of his school as part of the walkthrough. He didn't know the name of his school, and his parents didn't either. They knew it from the acronym. Invite your community members, like I said. And this wheel that we have in the middle it's out of Johns Hopkins University. It's called the Diversity Wheel. It's an excellent tool that you can use to ensure that you're reaching out to diverse partners. Okay, you get another activity. So you have cards in the middle of your table. So you can pick any color card you like. You see that they're connected to a role. So either you're going to be a parent of a student with special needs. If you pick the pink card, the green card is a community partner. The blue card is the Board of Ed member. When I was in East Hartford, we did these walkthroughs, and each of the Board of Ed members were assigned to one of our schools. So each one of them participated on the walkthrough. If you pick the purple card, you're the family liaison. Everyone has to have a card. And the yellow one is a student. Okay. So remember earlier I said I can't. Does everyone have a card? There can be two students at a table. It's fine. That's why I put two, I put two of each color. It's fine. Does anyone have a blue card? The Board of Ed member? No one wants to be a Board of Ed member?
I'll take a Board of Ed.
Well, it's a tough job anyway, yeah. Okay, so what you're going to do today, we're going to show you a scenario. We're going to show you a video. Now, I'm going to give you a disclaimer. The video is a little over the top. It is, just a little bit. Because they're actors and actresses, right? But the situation in the video did happen. So what I want you to do when you're watching the video, you're watching it from your lens, whoever you are, whoever you decide it to be. First thing I want you to do is think about that role, who you are watching the video, right? As you're watching the video, I want you to jot down what things are welcoming and what things are not welcoming. You can do it on your cards. Okay. Well, come on up. It's going to be big. You'll be able to see it. Okay, so the first one is Mrs. Rogers.
Our first scenario features Mrs. Rogers. Her child Zachary has been bullied on the bus. She wants to get the matter resolved, and she's pretty upset. Watch very closely her experience with her child's elementary school. What's welcoming and what's not welcoming.
Where is the school's phone number? It should be on these newsletters. Who can read and understand this stuff? I just want a phone number. 3rd grade wins spelling contest. They spelled contest wrong. Ah!
Hello, and thank you for calling Nutmeg Elementary. Our office hours are from 7:45 a.m. till 3:15 p.m. Please call back then. Goodbye.
It's 9:15 a.m. It is your office hours. Ugh.
Hi there, how can I help you?
I'm here for a meeting with Mr. Warren about my son, Zach Rogers.
Oh, okay. Sign the guest book and make sure you take a visitor's badge too.
Okay.
Now, are you here for the PPT, an IEP, an AYP, the CMT, or an ESL?
I don't know what that means. I'm here to talk about a problem on the bus.
Oh, okay. Let me get Mr. Warren for you and you can have a seat. I'll just move these boxes. Hold on.
Oh, where's the ladies' room?
Oh, down that hallway to the left.
Okay, thank you. Oh, there's Zachary's.
Can I help you with something?
No, thank you. I'm all set.
Okay.
A little over the top, right? But it really happened. It really happened. I go into schools all the time. Not necessarily do I see that because they don't send me to those bathrooms. I go to the teacher's lounge or the principal will allow me to use his or her bathroom, so I don't experience that side. But kids tell me all the time that the bathrooms aren't clean. Okay. So what was welcoming? Let's start there. You got to shout it out. Do. And we always go to the bulletin boards. When my son was in school, I went to the board to see if I saw his name. What else? We had a receptionist. Mm-hmm. That's good. She was welcoming. Yeah. What else? That's good. They had a newsletter, didn't they? A long one. Parents don't read long newsletters. Am I speaking to the choir? Y'all know that? Oh, okay. What else? What else was welcoming? That's it?
The woman with the coffee pot.
Oh, she said this. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, they had coffee. They didn't all,
Someone did.
but somebody had coffee. They welcomed her into the building. Yep, they did. I think she had a name tag, right? Did she have a name tag, a little sticky note or something? What else? I saw some hands back here, did I? Jargon. Don't we love that jargon? What? Okay, so what was not welcoming? I know that's where y'all want to start. Okay. Yeah. Only your table can hear you.
The newsletter that she had received at the school, some of the organizations had contact spelled wrong. It wasn't personal to her, but it was so universal that so much information that this guy upset.
Yeah.
So it gave her a negative understanding of what the school prior to going to this school. She was arguing and her negativity going to that school, thinking that this is what the school's about.
Right.
So it sets the tone for bias all the way through.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'm gonna stay back here with this table.
I think the hearing, so the number wasn't on the newsletter, I think that was the number, but also we called, so it wasn't like, there's no other option but to call back. Like we're,
Couldn't talk to a human.
Nutmeg Elementary, right? Make it sound like they're so nice.
Or the message is so long.
Have a good day.
Hang
Bye-bye.
Call back because you didn't listen to all the messages. You missed the one that you needed.
How many main offices have boxes like that? All the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. I agree. All right, I'm going to show you one more. Oh. She's on my team.
Visitors signing process, especially this day and age, that's a problem. They ask for, I like to check the show us, I know you're really here for them.
No, you're absolutely right. And I say this all the time, and I wish I didn't have to say it. I travel the state. I go into schools all the time. I get into schools all the time illegally. All the time. They don't, sometimes they ask for my information, sometimes they don't. Sometimes, especially if I'm at a high school, the younger ones are better with this. The students, the younger kids don't necessarily let you in. They kind of look at you like, I don't think I'm supposed to let you in. The high school kids hold the door for me, and I guess because I'm coming with stuff, I look like I belong there, I can get in all the time. So please, part of this process too, we're looking at that procedure. Like I said, I start in the parking lot to see if you're following the procedure, to see if folks are getting into your building. I know I can get in. Okay.
Meet Mr. Rodriguez. His granddaughter isn't feeling well, so he's picking her up from the nurse's office at the middle school. What parts of his experience are welcoming? Which are not?
What are you here for?
Estoy aquí para recogerla a mi nieta.
What? I don't understand Spanish.
I'm here to pick up my granddaughter, Emily, at the nurse's office.
Hold on.
Oh, hi there. Can I help you?
Sí, vine a buscar a mi nieta.
Oh, sígueme, por favor.
Gracias.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo señor Rodríguez.
Oh.
Hi, Maria. This is Mr. Rodriguez. He's here to pick up his granddaughter, Emily. She's in the nurse's office.
How can I help you?
Vine a buscar a mi nieta, Emily.
Oh, por favor. Firme aquí y aquí.
Gracias.
I have to walk by the nurse's office. I'll bring him there.
Thank you. Y espero que su nieta se mejore.
Gracias.
Someone says it.
I wish people would just learn to speak English.
Oh. Now you know she wanted to say something else, right? But we had to cut the video. So these things really happen. These things really happen. So we're going to start with the positive. What was welcoming? Signage for you saw visitor parking? Okay. What else? Signage when they walked in? Okay. What else? Someone said something. Look. Wouldn't that great? Like, let me walk you. I can take you there. Side note, we do that at our church, like part of our training. They was like, don't just give directions. Walk them to the ladies' room. Walk them to the nursery. Okay, what else? What else is welcoming?
They use the language of the person that was coming, the visitor.
He's trying not to take the microphone. Yeah. That was welcoming, that was respectful, especially if you have the resource available, right? Yeah. Were you going to say something?
I was going to say when he said in addition to that, receptionist that was there, said I hope you're doing well, just was engaging and sympathetic.
And considerate, yeah. Anyone else? Anything else that was welcoming? Someone no? Mm-mm. They had name tags. He had a name tag, so there must be some kind of process. Okay, what was not welcoming? You want to start with the secretary? Tell me. Tell me. She's ready.
She was really very lucky, and she wasn't very nice.
She wasn't very nice.
Can I make an observation though?
Yeah.
My granddaughter went to the best school in Hartford, and I looked it up. There's something I didn't like about it, and I just realized what it was.
Uh-oh.
They were not welcoming.
Oh. You want a do-over. She wants a do-over. What?
Well, that's what my granddaughter out of school.
Oh, see? See what's happening? Wow. Yeah. I'll come back. Doctor.
I know it is in schools, the interim access to the school. I mean, that already is not welcoming at all.
What are you here for? You don't want that?
It's just, and you can be more pleasant about it. You know, the interaction that you have.
Yeah.
So it's like, good morning, welcome.
Welcome. Hi.
Exactly. They don't even do that. There's a lot of schools that say your name for purpose.
I know. I had one tell me, pull the handle. I'm like, how? Pull it. And we can be welcoming, we can be friendly, and we can keep our students safe. We can do all of the above. Did I see some hands over here? I'm coming back to you. Oh, right. 1 second.
From the beginning, the tone that was set, the minute we ran it out, right away that they didn't want to be bothered, they weren't welcoming, they weren't kind.
Nope.
She could have said, give me 1 second, I'm just trying to translate.
Yeah.
So the tone right away.
I agree. You made me think of, so how many of you have experienced or visited the White House? Have you been? So I went to the White House during the Obama administration, and I felt extremely safe and secure. And it still felt welcoming to me. They had dogs, armed guards, a lot of security, but it was the way that it was handled. I felt safe. I didn't feel like I wasn't supposed to be there. I felt seen. We were invited. So I'm thinking that's one of the safest places, hopefully, in our country, but they still had a warmth in that space where we felt that we wanted to be there. So you can do it. You can do both. You can be inviting and you can keep your students safe. You forgot? You are too young to forget.
That's why we wrote it. There was like no signs or anything showing
Where to go? He did look lost. Was there someone that was going to help him? Who's this guy? Can we play that again? Can you back up a little bit? Not him? He's not going to help?
Nope.
Do y'all see that guy in this room?
Uh-huh. Huh?
In this room.
In this room?
What about at the camera in the back?
Oh my God, that's him? No way.
So I see, that's not our Tom, but I told you, they're a little over the top, a little over the top.
I was just going to mention that the parent was unaccompanied. I know the principals at our school would be very upset. They had a parent just wandering.
Just wandering.
Just looking where to go.
Yeah.
That would raise a red flag to me.
Oh, are you speaking without the microphone?
I'm not a public speaker because that's hard.
Oh, okay. Disclaimer, she's been coming to family engagement events and Friday Cafe for how many years now? Oh, okay. And she's been saying before COVID, I'm not a public speaker.
So one of the red flags that I see there is, all right, he got husband.
Yeah.
They still don't know who he is. He's roaming around. He's a complete stranger.
Didn't I tell you I get in schools all the time?
Yeah, he's a complete stranger, and the office is not right here.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Pass it to your friend, to your left, to your right.
I just want to piggyback on somebody else stated in one prior to say how dangerous that could be. Even just to not have a staff member go and greet this person at the door after buzzing them in, if your office is not right there. And when you were standing here, and I took it for
Did you?
I no disrespect, but I got to do something and send it. Like, it just brought me back to
Yeah.
that safety space, like
Yep.
you said, and just realizing that even though you may think you know the person,
Mhm.
you don't know the state of mind that they're there.
Mhm.
And the fact that you said, whatever you said, that you don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So we are laughing and giggling about it because, yeah, it is funny. But reality
Oh, but it's real.
It does happen, and it's scary.
Yeah. And I believe all of you are going to be working on your culture and climate plans if you're not working on them already. So that should be a part of it too, you know, ensuring that you're following your safety procedures, then it's a part of it. But having your building be welcoming will support your climate. Okay, you got me walking in these heels.
I think, first of all, we just go back
Okay.
to the.
You want to stand up?
Let me just say, as a corrector, I want to apologize to you.
Oh, was it a crack school?
For the experience you had before. It was not my doing. Don't know who or what or where. But we as correctors strive to be greater every day. For your experience you had, so we're going to look into that and move forward and work on it, okay?
Aww.
As a guy who works in security, I think it irks my shame to see that people can have access to schools, children, and the people are so calm and relaxed about it that it worries me.
Yeah.
Although he's a grandparent with intentions, he could have worked out the child, let the door ajar, whatever the case may be. Then on top of that, you know, the secretary, not being more, you know, she didn't realize she was being mean, maybe just for her day. She said, oh, she got somebody coming in that's speaking.
Right. Exactly.
I can help accommodate.
Knowing your population.
So the lack of being able to understand or adapt to something that's happening readily in your school, it's like they're not taking the value of who they are, the impact that they can have on people, the guests, even the students. Every experience that everybody had on a given day could change the whole outlook of the school. Yeah. Everything. So that's just what I would say. I'm going to keep it.
Thank you. Okay, you're my last one. Normally, I would have you huddle and do action plans, but I want you to hear from Farmington because Farmington has implemented welcoming walkthroughs in the majority of their schools. I think there's only one school remaining that hasn't had a walkthrough. And the outcomes that has happened as a result of the walkthroughs are phenomenal. Like, you don't even want to hear from me anymore. Hold on.
I do want to say already, add to what you guys said, it also reflects the climate that it is in that school, by that secretary talking. Because for her to say that comment at the end, how are the other staff who are from other language are feeling? So that's one thing that we need to be self-aware when we're looking at content. That it's not only welcoming to the parents, but it's also welcoming to our staff that are there. Because that's what makes the climate change the parents.
I agree. It's us, right? Right. Okay, so like I said, those were examples. Sometimes you experience things like that on the walkthrough. They said, Dr. V, do we really get the true experience? And I share this all the time. I share what my mother said. What's in your heart is going to come out of your mouth, regardless. Yeah, y'all can write that down. Regardless of who's in the building, people show up. That's who they are. So I've been on walkthroughs. I've been on walkthroughs with teacher doors open and teachers are screaming, right? I've been on walkthroughs where students are on display in the office. I've been on walkthroughs where I hear confidential information and they know we're coming and they know we're doing it. So it's not about a gotcha, right? It's about an opportunity to make a good school an even better school. So I want you to think about that. So the post walkthrough, after the walkthrough, you'll receive a summary report. It's our recommendation that you pull the team back together, the team that called out of work to be there. I had parents that say, Dr. V, I'm not getting in your picture because I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm homesick. And I'm like, okay, but thank you for coming. So they're not in the group picture, but bringing them back together, give them the opportunity to be a part of the implementation. We hear this from families all the time. Whatever happened to that thing? Like, you invited me to be a part of the discussion. Did you do it? Like this morning, we did what did we call it? Connection before content, because on your evaluations, you tell us that during the 9 to 9:30, when you're doing networking and having your coffee, that you want an activity. So that's why we gave you an activity. Families are saying the same thing. You invite me to give my feedback, my lived experience. You said you're going to change this thing. Did you do it? And can I be a part of it? Okay, so invite the families back. And then there's an opportunity for a follow-up walkthrough. So that's where Stratford is right now. They did their walkthroughs 2 years ago. They've implemented a lot of great things. They have action teams in each of their 14 schools. So they have teams currently that are focusing on family engagement and what that means for them. Next slide.
Nope, stay right there.
Just do some
It's
water.
me.
I'm sorry?
I want her to stay there for a second before we get to the good stuff. I want her to just stay on that slide for a second. So I'm Kristen Wilder. I'm the Family Engagement Facilitator for Farmington Public Schools. We have 7 schools in the district, and we've done the walkthroughs at 6 of the 7. We will be doing the last one. Our high school is brand new. We have a brand new building, so we kind of held off on doing that one until they got settled in the building and kind of things got into a groove. So we'll be doing that one this coming winter. So I always say that you can do family engagement events, you can do these nice activities like a walkthrough, but if nothing changes after, it was just a fun family event, or it was just a nice experience, right? So when you get that report back, I think the most important part of it is, what are you gonna do with it next, right? Like Dr. V said, families took time off of work, they've spent, a couple hours with you, giving you lots of feedback, giving you lots of information, giving you suggestions. If you don't do anything with it, then that's where families feel that you're really not wanting to engage me, right? Because I'm giving you advice and you're not taking it. So if you want to switch to the next slide. So when we get our reports back in Farmington, we really have looked at them to see what can we do that will really impact change. And some of the things we could do are awesome, but they cost a lot of money, right? And so you might not have the money in the budget, right? But some of the suggestions parents give are actually really simple, quick fixes that can be literally, some of them changed like immediately, like the next day. So I want to share some of the things that we've done based on our reports. So one of the things that came up in our schools reports were that parents felt like they didn't have a lot of two-way communication. So Farmington does a great job of, putting information out, like many of your districts probably have all this information out, but how much are we really listening? How much are we really encouraging parents to be in dialogue with the schools? So a couple things that we have done is, our first school did their walkthrough, the very first one did their walkthrough, and immediately, the next day, the principal started a digital suggestion box. It's a Google form. It's a Google form that has just a couple questions on it, and parents can fill it out. Every week, she has an email that she sends to parents, and on the very bottom, every week there's two things. One of them is the attendance. Our school has 97% of our students here this week, and it has information about making sure your kid is there every day. The second thing is this digital suggestion box link. So all it is a link. If you want to give us feedback, if you have something you want to share, if you have a question, put it on there. So that information gives parents an opportunity anytime they want 24/7 to give feedback. And there's been great information from those. So sometimes parents will write in and be like, why are our kids going out in the, cold weather or what, And so the principal then can take that information and use that for her next her next communication next week. Did you know that we go out to recess every day as long as the temperature is, blah, blah. Please send your children in with, coats, hats, mittens, whatever. So the information then gets right back out to everybody, because there's probably more than one parent that is questioning, why are you going out to recess if it's cold out? So it really gives great feedback, and it's an opportunity for principals to then engage in that communication, getting information out that parents are asking. The second thing that also was implemented right away was these virtual office hours. So parents, just want an opportunity to have access to the principal. And so, pre-COVID, I know a lot of schools may have done like coffee with the principal or some sort of experience like that. We've switched to digital because we feel that way all parents can have access. And so every month she has the principals have 2 digital meetings that parents can log in from work during their lunch break. They can, log in when they're dropping their kids off at their soccer game. And for the principal, first of all, neither of these cost anything. They're both quick. And the principal's just online on a Google Meet link, and maybe no one will show up, right? Like the principal can just get her work done, and it's available if parents want to come. Sometimes parents will pop on for a few minutes. Other times, no one shows up. But again, it's available for parents, and it's a great chance to just pop in and talk to the principal easily from wherever you are. Next slide. So another thing that some other things we went for was we went for the easy wins, right? Things that were kind of simple, right? Just like those last 2 things I showed you. We did have an issue at some of our schools where people, including Dr. V, had a hard time finding the building, right? Our signage was older. It may not have been in the best locations to easily see from the road, and so it was pretty much hidden. Yeah. So if you look at that particular school, the sign at the bottom, the old sign, you can see it's kind of hard to read. Right? It's dark, and it blended in with the plant, with the bushes and plants and whatnot. And in that particular school, if any of you know that school, that sign was actually in the courtyard area right? So in order to see that sign, you would have already had to turn off the road, pulled into the parking lot, and actually been like literally standing in front of the building in order to see that. So if you were looking for the school, like Dr. V was, you may have just kept driving down Route 10. You would never even know it was there, right? So we obviously this is something that costs some money, but we did update all of our school signage. So as you're driving through Farmington, check them out. It just makes it more visible and, you know, a nicer, easier way to find your way around. We also updated signage inside schools and just at main doors. So like, for example, that particular school, I know she showed up at the wrong door. So I get a call on my cell phone. I think she thought she was standing in front of the main entrance, and honestly, it does look like a main entrance door, but the main entrance is actually around the side of the building. So we made sure to add some signage so that, again, the wayfinding, right? How to find your way to the right door when you get in the building, how to find your way to, you know, wherever you're going. And most of those were fairly easy.
I want to add one thing I forgot to share with you. One person that's really crucial to being on your team, if you decide to do this, is the head custodian or person at the district level. Vital, really important, because they already have a laundry list of things that they are working on, and this will help them. It'll be a strong partnership that way.
We also have a number of students that, you know, have unusual or unique names, and, you know, how to pronounce their name is really important. That's their identity, right? So when people are registering at the school, one of the things that we ask them is, you know, oh, and how do you say your child's name? And we write that down phonetically so that then when the classroom teacher calls or, you know, the nurse has to call to follow up with something, they already know how to say that child's name. It's really important. So you ask them once, but then you make sure that then that information is shared with everyone so that not every time, you know, someone's calling from the school, they're having to ask again how to say their name. Another thing we did was we have great PTOs at the elementary schools. Parents are really engaged, they're involved, we have lots of opportunities for involvement, and then when they hit the middle school, there was nothing, right? There was no PTO, there's no opportunities to like volunteer and things like that. And so that came through loud and clear at our walkthrough that like parents want to be involved in middle school still. Like we kind of, I mean, the kids might not want them to be as involved in the same way, but the parents still want to be engaged. And so that was something really simple. We launched our first middle school PTO, and we have a lot of parents that were like, yes, like we want to be involved, we want to do this. And so that again was simple, no cost, just get it, you know, publicize it and they will come, and they did. So next slide, please. Another thing that we also heard loud and clear was parents wanting to know about the curriculum. Like, what is my child being taught? And like, I don't even know what's going on in the school. I don't know what they're learning. And so there were two different things that, again, these both took a little bit more time, but again, virtually low to no cost ways that we started. So the one on the left there is a curriculum snapshot. So what we did is we took each grade level, K to 6, and we created a Google site that has access to all the things that they're learning at home. So if you could click on that left one. So here's a sample of the first grade. These are all available on our website. If you go to Farmington Schools, fpsct.org, you can go to the parent section of the page. We created a parent section on our website so that families know exactly where to go and they can find these. And you'll see that there are links to all the different subject areas that they have. If you can continue scrolling down. It then has, keep going, a letter to our families from our assistant superintendent, keep going. And then links to each of the schools and their libraries, keep going. And then information about the PTO and how to get involved. And then we have information, general information about family engagement, how to get connected with Parent Square and how we communicate things, general information they might want to know, like the school calendar, and just other little tips and hints. If you can scroll back up. All right, and so now if we click on one of the areas across the top, you'll see them as well as in these icons. So if you want to click on, let's do science, I guess. So I'm a first grade parent. I want to know, like, what is my kid doing in science? I don't know. Maybe it would be important. So for each subject area, there is an overview of what your child's going to be learning. And then if you scroll down, you'll see the exact units. Oh, my kid's going to be learning about weather. My kid's going to be learning about birds. I know, and I'm sure you know, if you know your kid is going to be studying about birds this year, or you know your child's going to be studying about weather, you might actually like talk to your kid about like the weather, right? Or about birds, or like maybe, right, you might buy stuff, or you might check out books at the library. Like that's going to give those children more access to learning outside of the classroom, which as a school district, we know that then those kids are going to bring that into the classroom. So it's just going to enrich our classroom conversations that much more. So they have information about the topics that we're studying. And if you continue scrolling down, we then have ways to support your child in science at home. Keep going. Different links to websites and resources that would be helpful for that particular grade level. So I think that if you keep going, so there's a bunch of different access things. So some of them are the same for multiple grade levels. Some of them are very specific for that grade. All right. And then you can see we have that for all the different subject areas, including specials. So you know exactly what your child's learning at every grade level in every subject. And there are suggestions at every single area, ways to help my kid in math, ways to help my kid in science. The great thing for teachers too is how many teachers get emails from parents saying, well, my kid already knows all this math. Like, how can I help my child? How can I enrich my child? I want them to be challenged. All the teachers have to do is, oh, that's so great. Here's a link to our math, first grade math, webpage. And if you scroll down, there are, things that you can do with your child. There's access to digital websites that you can work on with your child. And so if the teachers, really simple, teachers have an email signature. If I'm a teacher, I'm just going to put that right in my signature. Kristen Wilder, grade 1 teacher, grade 1 curriculum, like curriculum snapshot right there. So it's always accessible to parents. It's on the website too. All right, if you can go back to the main slide. So that was simple. That was relatively easy to do. So all I did was I asked one teacher at each grade level if they could help me write it. I created the template of that website. I replicated it for all those grades, K-6. And then we hired teachers. In the summer, we spent 2 days where a teacher added the information on there. And so they did work collaboratively because some of the things were crossovers, like some of the things for first grade were also good for kindergarten or also good for second grade. So they did a lot of sharing of information of those external resources. But then we really just took our already written curriculum and plugged it in there. So again, fairly simple to implement as far as cost and time. The one on the right, one of the things we have always had is curriculum night. How many of your schools have curriculum night in the fall, or like an open house program? Okay. So one of the things we found out was that attendance at that was kind of spotty depending on the grade level. Our kindergarten classes, typically you'd expect a lot of parents in kindergarten, but we found that a lot of our parents had already been to the school because we have a special kindergarten orientation in August where the students come and see their classes and parents meet the teacher, they take a bus ride or whatever. So then having a curriculum night 2 weeks later, many of those parents said, well, I've already done all that. Like, I've seen the school, I know what's going on. Even in older grades, if parents have had siblings that already have that teacher, they might say, I don't know if I really need to go to that, And of course, we have parents who, for multiple reasons, they might work in the evenings, they're not available, they're traveling, they don't have a babysitter. There are lots and lots of reasons why parents can't go to curriculum night. So we thought about how can we make this accessible to parents so that they have information to what their child's going to be learning, and they feel like they've met the teacher and they know what's going on in school. And so we created these, if you could click on that, the one on the right, yes. So what we decided to do is pretty unusual, is we canceled curriculum night. We said, we're not going to do a curriculum night. And initially, a lot of parents said, what? You're not going to have a curriculum night? And we were like, nope, but we're going to do something better, okay? okay? We're gonna do something better. So we decided to do these, a book for each grade level, and in exchange for curriculum night, because our teachers have to work a curriculum night, we switched that and we have them doing a learning celebration night. So at the beginning of the year, they send out these books. At the end of the year, usually between February and June, the teachers have a night where they invite the parents into the classroom to learn about the curriculum that their kids have been doing. So they might have a bird night, or they might have a STEM night where they're teaching their parents, or they're doing the science experiments that they did in class, or they're doing extension activities related to the topics with their families. They're sharing their writing. They're doing something to celebrate their learning. So that was the exchange we made, was switching the evening event teachers do from the fall to sometime later in the year. But we still wanted the information about the curriculum to go out to parents, right? But we wanted it to be accessible. We wanted families to be able to all be able to have that information. And so what we did is we created these book creators. It's a website where you can create books that have all the information. Your curriculum night, it's probably 95% the teacher standing and talking at the parents, right? Is that how most of yours are? Right? It's pretty much stand and deliver. Okay, if you could stand and just say all that information, you could have done that in an email or in a book or some other way, right? It's not two-way, it's not interactive. You're just getting information out to parents. This does it the exact same way and allows 100% of our parents to have the information. So if you could click through that, there's a book for every grade level. And so each book includes all that information that parents want to know. They want to know who are the teachers. They want to know the schedule. When, you know, my kid needs to be there on time because we're starting with math or whatever. It goes through all of the information with digital links to social emotional learning, talking about how we do restorative circles. You can keep clicking. And it talks about all the different subject areas. You can just keep clicking through that of information. And the other thing that's kind of interesting, actually, if you could stop right there, click on the fine motor, the audio. For every page, there's information on it, but there's also audio. So if you click on that.
Developing fine motor skills is important to many areas of kindergarten. Children need to build their finger and hand
Okay, you can stop that. So each page, we're not reading the page to the parents. We know the parents can read the page. We're having the teachers talk a little bit about how can your child develop fine motor skills, and what can you do at home that will help your child develop fine motor skills. So for every single page, like you heard all three teachers introduce themselves on that first page that showed the three teachers, where they talk a little bit about themselves and tell about, you know, their experience or whatnot. And then each of the teachers have divided up, you know, talking about these different pages and giving suggestions of what to do. You can keep clicking through there. But all the information parents want to know is right there. And you know what? If at a curriculum night they hear the information, maybe they didn't hear it, they were, you know, tuning out, guess what? They can go back and read this book all year long. They can just get, I forgot, what is it that they're doing again for whatever? They can go back and play this book and have it read through. So there's also a supplementary book that goes with that talks about the whole school, that have PE, art, music, the office staff, our custodians, our security guard, all of those people are in the main book for the school. And then each parent gets the book for their grade level that has information specific to that grade. So again, this was something that was relatively zero cost. We had teachers put it together during an in-service day prior to the first day of school. They worked on it as a grade level. They can all work on it kind of at the same time, contributing. But here's the thing. They only have to do that once. So this year, when they came back, third grade's the same this year, right? Unless there's a new teacher in the grade level, they'd have to change that page, right? Unless their schedule changes, which it does, right? So those two pages have to be updated this year. The rest of that information, it's the same as, it's already done. So you don't need to give teachers time to do that. They just have to update the ones that change year to year. So again, this is something we'll have every year from now on. And again, it's like an easy, quick thing we can do. But does this give parents lots of information? How many of you would like to have information like this as opposed to sitting at a curriculum night where you have to be there at 7 o'clock and you're being talked at and you don't know how long it's going to go on for? It really is just more ways to have equitable access to curriculum so that all parents can get the same information, have access to everything they need to know about a particular grade. So those are some of the things that we did, and we are not done. The welcoming walkthrough reports that we got, that's something that I have on my list of I need to go back and look at each of them now and say, okay, have we addressed the very first school that we did? Let's go back and read West District's report. Have we addressed some of the things that came up in that report? Where are we now? Right? What else can we do? Is there anything else we can do? And a lot of the things that we did, we found were similar at each school. If you do the walkthroughs at your whole district, you'll find out that some of the things are the same. So we were able to hit all the schools with certain items that we did. Those snapshots that hit every school. Wanted more information about the grade level? There we go. We've solved that problem at every school. I can cross that off each school's report. So are there any questions about how we have taken those walkthroughs and implemented some changes in positive ways to help parents feel more informed, engaged, welcome, and involved in their kids' schooling?
Right, so
yeah, go ahead.
It's not a question.
Okay.
You guys did awesome.
Can you say that louder?
Awesome. Everything that I would want as a parent, it's right there. Yeah. I was one of those parents that you're like, I don't want her in my classroom. One of those. This is great. You hit every corner as a parent, even though my kids are full old people. I love this.
Thank you.
And it's colorful, and it's inviting, and it's informative, and I like it.
And it's transparent.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because I always wonder, how does this land with parents? And I do ask parents, how is it feeling? And like I said, initially they were like, oh, you're canceling curriculum night? But if I could trade curriculum night for this and also give you an opportunity to come into the school for a learning celebration night. And I don't know how many of you have multiple kids, but curriculum night, if you have multiple kids, that's kind of stressful. Because I have to go to 3 different teachers' classrooms, and they're all presenting at the same time. And there might be 2 different slots, so you can get to 2 of your 3 kids' classrooms to get information.
No, I understand that. At one point, I have 4 kids, so all 4 of them, I had her in high school, my son in junior high, my daughter in elementary, and my other son in a different school.
Mm-hmm.
So this something at that time would have been perfect.
Yes.
I love this.
We're also, instead of having parents come in for that one curriculum night, we're welcoming them in for each and every kid on a different night. Those learning celebrations are at different times. So your 4 children, you'd have 4 opportunities to come into the school to see what's happening in your 1st grade child's room, your 3rd grade child's room, your 5th grade child's room, and et cetera. Are there any other questions? Because I know we're running out of time.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, this is a lot of fabulous information. What has been the feedback from parents, and do you have any data on how many parents have interacted with it?
Yeah, so actually one of the things that's really great about that book creator program is we can see how many views it's had. So I know if I have, let's say I have 20 kids in each of those 1st grade or 3rd grade classrooms, 60 families, I can see how many views they've had, right? I can't break it down per classroom, but I can see that, oh, there's been 72 views. Well, chances are we hit every family then, right? Some of them more than once, right? So you can see the data from that, and that is where it's really valuable. We also just have had a lot of parent feedback. Like I mentioned, the initial reaction was kind of like, ooh. And now we're finding that parents are, initially they were like, so we're getting a book instead of coming in. But the learning celebrations, the parents, so you're trading one curriculum night for a learning celebration for each and every child you have, to come in on different nights to learn about things. And that's where children's pride comes in too. Like being able to bring your parent in and do some experiments with them, show them your work. That to me is interactive and much more valuable than me sitting and listening to, a bunch of information. Any other questions? Yeah? Hold on.
I love the book. I'm just wondering, does it have an option to translate for other families?
Yeah, so yes, so there is opportunities for translation of that too, and Google Sites also, which is where the curriculum snapshots are built on. I believe those also, Google Sites are translatable as well. So, and our website, we redesigned our website for families. So there's a family page, and our website is translatable as well. So you could check all of that out on Farmington Schools web pages. Oh. Yep.
It's more of not a question, but I think this was phenomenal. Just that I supervise as the director of special education in my district. The way teachers think, this transformative way of thinking instead of old school. I think we get wrapped up in the same kind of rigmarole, but this makes you think very differently about how we engage parents and scholars, right? So this is wonderful.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
thank you.
I'll bring it back to my superintendent.
Thank you. Yeah, it really is about like taking that information you get from the report and then thinking outside of the box, right? Being innovative and thinking about, okay, our parents are wanting more information. We already do curriculum night. We could have been like, well, we do that, you know, but really trying to think further, like, okay, we're hearing that they want more information. How can we do that in a way that is giving them what they want? We also think about accessibility for all, right? Making it available for everyone at any time. And we kind of just thought like, well, let's try it. And when we did it, we were like, well, we'll try it for 1 year. So that was last fall. And now we're like, we're never going back to the old way, right? Yeah.
I don't know if I missed it, but it says, is this a printable version so that we can share with like our grandparents or babysitters, you know, care providers?
I mean, it's available online on the website. You could print it. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason. Like if I was a classroom teacher and, you know, I had a family that maybe didn't have access to it, I could print it. You would lose the audio version of it. You wouldn't have that. So you would miss out on that opportunity. But, you know, you certainly could print the book for parents if they wanted it. It's not quite the same, but yeah, it is available.
I did see some keynotes written in there, so I thought that was really, really cool. And I thought sometimes when we have students that go for, you know, vacational grandparents and they're dropping them off at school, or a caretaker that may not have access to internet or may not be very tech savvy to be able to understand the curriculum and understand what's going on too.
Yeah. Interestingly, the book creator data also shows where it was viewed. So, like we presented this at the national conference down in New Orleans. So if people viewed it down, it actually shows like where it was viewed. So parents could share this with grandparents, you know, in an email, like, hey, check out my kids, you know, what my child is doing, your grandson's doing in school this year. So you can see where it was viewed too, which I think is kind of neat. Yeah. All right, I think it is time to wrap up. I believe there's surveys that have been passed out on the table. If you could please take some time and give us some feedback on what you've seen today. We'd love to hear suggestions or improvements about Friday Cafe in general, what you like, what you don't like, and the tool, Welcoming Schools tool. If you have any feedback for how to change those indicators, or if you have questions about how to bring that to your district, feel free to write that down on your survey. Thanks so much for coming, and we'll see you next month.